This video was originally recorded for a Zoom teacher training.
Practical life falls into a few categories. There's care of self, which would be brushing their own hair, learning how to dress themselves, brushing their teeth, washing their face. All that care of the person is a category of practical life. And there are works for that. This area right here is care of the environment. So it basically stays the same all year because practical life is real work. So if you're calling it practical life, it should be something that is a work that is a version, at least, of something you would really be doing, an adult would really be doing to care for the environment. So I just want to make that point because we're organizing it in a way where practical life is all together. So for example, if you have a work with pom-poms and tongue transferring, that's not practical life because you probably are never going to, in your house, have a need to just transfer pom-poms with tongs. It would be a developmental aid to practice tongs, right? And I have this out right now because they're not practicing tongs because they can't serve themselves at the table, which they normally would be doing. So I have this out so they do get to practice that, but it's not practical life because we don't, at least I don't, I should only speak for myself. I don't transfer pom-poms back and forth. So it's just not a practical life. So practical life, care of the environment. So on the top shelf here, I have items for cleaning. So there's quite a few polishing works to do, but I'll start with just a simple cleanup, and it's a tray with dish and a drying mitt. And this is used for cleaning non-food items off a table. So if they got some glue when they were gluing on a table or some paint, that sort of thing, they would take the tray, the whole tray with them, set it, I have them set it on the chair of the table they're cleaning, or you could have a low table that they bring to set up, and they wet their sponge and they clean the table. So it's very simple table cleaning, and just have a lot of sponges and towels because they only use that once if they get it really wet. So trays at this age really want a tray with a rim so things don't slide so easily, and a grip is nice. It makes it obvious where they're going to hold it, and make sure all the adults are holding it like this when they transfer it. So that's table cleaning. So we have the polishing, or basically have all the same setup, and that there's a polish, there's a bowl to add water to, an applicator, a mitt. So this is mirror cleaning. So I have a mirror, I'll have 2 mirrors they can clean on the wall if you, and I do recommend you have several mirrors in your classroom. It helps give them feedback when they're dressing themselves or washing their face. But if you don't, you could bring in a little hand mirror for them to polish. And again, a lipped tray. And then some things that are breakable, the bowl is breakable, but not everything. And with very young children, you could get non-skid fabric, like what you put under a rug or what you would line a shelf with, so that they don't even slide so much when they're first walking and carrying those trays. But the age I have, we just have it right on the tray. So mirror cleaning, wood polish. This is one of the first ones I give them when they're very young. Of course, everything's non-toxic. So this, I have a little deeper container so they can really wiggle around and not worry about dropping it. And again, so plastic, some wood. Also helps assistant remember which one the wood polish goes in because it's in a wooden bowl. And then metal polishing. So in my classroom, we keep the metal polish is non-toxic. Montessori Services is a great place to find your non-toxic polishes. But we just bring out the metal polish and they squeeze it into the little bowl before they do their polishing. So things, but the thing about practical life is one of the purposes is it's not just to learn how to do it, it's to learn how to do a multiple step process. It's something they're interested in, so they are concentrating, engage. It's very sensorial experience. And lost my train of thought. Oh, to reflect the culture. So even though we're all here in the United States, our communities all have culture of their own. And so especially like in food, that's a good portion of practical life where you can bring in all kinds of food that people in your community are eating. So you can create your own practical life just using the principles of having, you know, good trays so that the child, or bowls or baskets so the child can move it themselves, having few items that are breakable but won't shatter, and just really thinking in a step-by-step how you would present it to them, how you would model it to them, and gathering in all your parts. And so anything can be a practical life, care of the environment. So like rain boot cleaning is one of my practical life. Some of you who gets to live somewhere where they never have to clean rain boots or snow boots, but you know, and someone else might have a different practical life set up for how to get aloe vera gel out of aloe vera plant. Like it's just you can bring in your culture and the nature around you and make practical life that way. So I really invite you to just look at the principles of setting up practical life, and one of your handouts, the checklist, this guideline for setting up practical life, and so you can create your own practical life. But there are some that are just always going to be out because they're always caring for the environment. One of the first caring of the environment, traditionally as soon as they can walk really, is watering plants. And so what you want to look for in a watering can is that it's to scale, and they can be hard to find a good size watering can. I did, after have pages and pages of find this on Amazon eventually. I looked other places. But the features are a handle that is a good size for a toddler. And one way, if you're wondering, like Goodwill's a great place. You can get great, well, I don't know if you have Goodwill, secondhand stores are a great place. So you can just try, if you can do it with 2 fingers, then probably the weight of it is going to be okay for most of your toddlers. But you also want to open, the handle doesn't go over the opening, but they don't have to maneuver it to get it under the faucet. And then also that when you're pouring the water out the spout, it doesn't come out the top, because not all water cans are designed equally. So that's a good for just a practical life. You can also have like a plant mister if you have plants that more, I don't know, African violets, I think, whatever plants you mist, or if you live in a humid climate and need to bring in, I don't know. I understand the plants I have, so I don't have any plants that need to be misted, but you might, so you could have a plant mister. So that's another thing that can vary with your unique environment. And then another real simple one is just dusting the plants. You can use all kinds of duster. This is a little finger duster I have here. You could use a piece of wool, anything, a little lamb's wool, tiny micro duster you could use to dust your plants. So there's a variety of things, and it just sits on you know, a leaf. And then tray. And then window washing. So basket here, you just have to things. It's really got to practice before you invest. Like this is our spray bottle for cleaning the window with. So you want to make sure that this gap isn't so wide that they can't, you know, squeeze it because their hands are so small, right? So this is one like designed for hair care use, you know. So little one, and again, not just Montessori services, but that's one place you can find to scale. So you really want to consider the scale is, are those little hands going to be able to manipulate it? You're going to need like a smaller squeegee. All right, so how do I show scale? Yeah, so much smaller than a lot of the ones you'll find in the store. So just thinking about what they can do, and then if you put it out on the shelf and you observe, that's why we're always observing, it doesn't work, then you switch it, you know, maybe take it out for a couple days, do your fix, put it back out in a new basket so it's like a new work, and represent it practically.